Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here. In today's video, it's going to be going over the new Sims that have come out in the past 24-ish hours for Warlock and War Within Beta. We've seen some initial ones for AF, Demo, and Destro, but a lot of the Destro ones were Rain of Fire, whatever that was. Demo and AF I guess were optimized as well. Once again, to mention every time, I don't work in APLs. I'm not smart enough. People in the Lock Discord do. They're much smarter than me. Credit to them. Praise them and thank them. Soul Harvester has now been implemented, so we have Diabolist, Hellcaller, and Soul Harvester all functioning. I believe APLs are being optimized and all that still, but I want to look at some of these semi-initial sims today, talk about what's happening, because some interesting things are happening with Soul Harvester, and go from there. Week Auras add-ons, if you want them, or any of the sims in this video, if I remember. Links to Twitch and Discord and the sims down below in the description if you want them. They're for free for you guys. The Week Auras, that is, obviously. The sims are not mine. And the Warlock beta spreadsheet is indeed live on Patreon, which will indeed go public regardless before the expansion comes out in 2 weeks. But if you guys want early access to it, the tier 3 Failguard rank or higher does get it. If you want support on Patreon up here, should be a link up here as well as down below. And yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to start off looking at Demonology, then get into Affliction and Destruction. Now, I have not run these sims. These are not my sims. People in the Lock Discord ran these. I believe they're still working on updating EPLs and all that stuff. They are much smarter than me when it comes to all this stuff, and probably just in general, let's be honest here. It's not hard to do, but they're probably pretty smart. So credit to them. I believe things will likely be changing more over the next few days anyways. Well, I wanted to give like an initial look at this stuff, and then we can go from there. We'll have a lot more sims coming out, like my own sims that I run when APLs are working on that with like trinkets and ratios and all that, but I'm sure they will as well. So starting off here with Demonology, as you can probably see, Diabolist and Soul Harvester are pretty close to one another. When it comes to like, it's actually the same sims here, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this is regular Demonology, I should say. Pretty close, about a 6k DPS disparity, which when you're doing 1.34 million or so is not that big of a deal, 0.5%. Still would favor Diabolist a bit, you know, their stat, but breaking it down a little more here and jumping into this, there is a much higher high end when it comes to Soul Harvester. That max upper, well, I guess max quartile, whatever you call it, max DPS, 1.571 million comparatively to 1.463, but also a lower low end. The lowest like minimum being 1.13 versus 1.2 here, so a bit more swingy DPS depending on procs, RNG, and all that. Diabolist being more consistent with the same ritual cycling over and over, you know, so on and so forth, right? Going back a bit here, so I showed you this sim a minute ago. This is like the baseline, just Soul Harvest versus Diabolist stuff. This here is the actual tier set. If we dig more into here, if we possibly can, I'm not sure if we actually can. Let's open it up a bit. Yeah, so Diabolist is here. If we scroll down a bit, let me try and zoom out a little here. Too much of the zoom and find our buffs here. Where are we sitting? Let me see here. It's not Spiderling. Looking for the actual tier set buff. Where are we at here? Web, Temper Potion, Ring of Tyranny, Empowered Legion Strike. There you go. So this is the effect that procs from your tier set. Let me see. It had a 2.36% uptime, but that is not, it's not a permanent effect. It basically just procs on your next Legion Strike. It's consumed. It's not like a high uptime effect or whatever, right? Now, unfortunately, when it comes to our tier set for Demonology, Legion Strike is a very small portion of our damage, 1.7%. Now, that tier bonus could be a bit, I think it's the one from, I want to double check that's the correct one, not the one from, you know, our Grimoire or whatever running around, right? Yeah, there you go. It is a very, very, very small portion of our damage and one that should likely be buffed. Yeah, there's Grimoire's Legion Strike, and here's the baseline Legion Strike. So 300% times 0 is still essentially 0. So we likely need large buffs to our tier set. I mean, you can see here the difference in tier versus not. I mean, we're gaining a solid 60k, which is, you know, well, scary. But either way, both the sims here looking relatively interesting. Damage breakdown on the actual Diabolist one here. Shadow Bolt. So, well, this is actual, like, you know, spent time, whatever. But damage breakdown, Imps are up here. Shadow Bolt sitting around 7.5%. Tyrant, 10%. Once again, Tyrant, let me just actually grab the talent build from this. Tyrant getting that further damage amplification from playing Diabolist, unlike what Soul Harvester has. Diabolist has this amp right here, increasing Tyrant damage by 70%. That does work with Ring of Tyranny. So this is like the bigger Tyrant damage build, all that. This is the actual talent build that was simmed here as well. Getting that big amp from Abyssal Dominion, also, you know, factoring in Ring of Tyranny, so on and so forth. Tyrant being about 10%, number 2 overall. Imps being 15%. They were buffed by, I think, 15% recently, so there's that. Shadow Bolt 7.5, Hand of Gul'dan 6.4, Demon Bolt 6.3, Pit Lord, Foul Seeker, all kind of stuff, so on and so forth. This is with the nerfed version of Diabolus as well. So both relatively close here. Once again, higher high end from Soul Harvester. If you break this down here, higher high end from Soul Harvester, but also lower low end. Diabolus being the more consistent. When it comes to cycling pets, it's going to cycle the Pit Lord, the big dude, and Big Mommy basically every time in the same order, as long as they fix the exploitation of that, which they might do, they might not. But either way, more consistent, and honestly, thematically, I think Diabolus is a little cooler. But hey, either way, there's that. Here is the actual breakdown of the Soul Harvester demonology sim as well. So Wild Imps on top, obviously. Soul Anathema is basically when your dude spawns your Shadow of Death or your demonic soul, I believe, right? It puts up a Soul Anathema, basically. The effect can indeed stack like Devouring Plague does. 12.7% demonic souls here at 10.6, Shadow Bolt 10.2, Shadow Bolt. Vile Fiend being, Red Dog. Red Dog is better everywhere on beta than Purple Dog because Red Dog scales with haste. Purple Dog is not. So currently we're playing Red Dog everywhere. Red Dog, regular dog, Dreadstalkers, Demon Bolt, Felgarb, so on and so forth. Grimoire Felgar being a whopping 1.7% is a bit interesting. We'll see where that goes. I will say that, when it comes to actual Sims, do we have it here? Yeah, Doomguard 2.2. Doom has been around this for me. My Doomguard has been much less than this on beta. I'm assuming it's just some bug on beta. I'm not really sure, but the damage in Sims for Doomguard is much less than what I've been getting on beta. There was a build that was playing nothing in this row before. It was playing, I believe it was playing a build like this roughly. You weren't playing Grimoire, you were playing Anilian Training, obviously. I think you were playing, this last point went somewhere. It might have just been baseline Doom, or something along those lines. Oh no, it's here. It was in Flame Touch. I'm curious where this build lands. I want to sim with it a little more to see where it goes, because Grimoire number 1 is just super underpowered in general. Probably need some pretty big buffs. It does indeed affect Tyrant for bigger consumption stuff and all that, with I guess consumption, Ray of Tyranny, every other Tyrant, but we'll see where it goes. This build was very close to the Grimoire build before, so we'll see where it lands. But either way, Tyrant being a much lesser source of damage, more than half, less than 5%. It was 10% in the Diabolus sim, because you're not getting that amplification from the Diabolus ability, which is sitting right here. Abyssal Dominion. So demonology overall, 1.394, 1.385 roughly, with tier sets being in. Without tier, we're looking at 1.3, 1.324. Not that big of a difference. I've had good luck with both on PTR or on beta. Both felt pretty similar, but this is where they're at. When it comes to Affliction, Soul Harvester is actually beating out Hellcaller. Now, Soul Harvester EPLs are being worked on a bunch. The opener might change a little bit. Just general spending might change a little bit, all that kind of stuff here. So Soul Harvester is technically ahead from what I've seen of Hellcaller by about 50k DPS, give or take. I'm not sure. I mean, there might be some variance in the Hellcaller APL that you want between the Soul Harvester one. There likely is. So once again, things being optimized. But Soul Harvester, I've noticed in testing in game, has actually been pretty strong. Wither, obviously very strong too, being Hellcaller based. But Soul Harvester, being able to get that Soul Rot window every minute, the Rapture window giving you 3 shards from your Soul Rot being cast. Let me just pull up the build here as well. Getting 3 shards from your Soul Rot being cast. Every single window, so you had that guaranteed bit of burst. Spending shards more often, which can proc our tier set more often, which I believe is sitting. This is a tier set sim. If I can find it for you here. Umbral Lattice. To clarify, this is an AF tier set sim. The more raptures you can spend, or the more you cast, the higher uptime on Umbral Lattice, which you can see in this sim. 54%. If you're playing Hellcaller, you have to conserve a little more shard wise, so you're not getting 3 shards. Whenever you cast your Soul Rot, right? The actual build looks like this. Let me try and import this. Interestingly enough, we're playing Death's Embrace. Cool. I don't mind it. No Oblivion, no Xavius Gambit, whatever. We are playing Ravenous Afflictions. Now, obviously, this talent works well with Soul Harvester. Nightfall-based stuff. You've got QAS over Consuming Nightfall gives Shared Fate, Piece of Soul stuff here. Playing Shared Fate over Piece of Souls, which is interesting as well, but I mean, this is more like AoE Death Effect based versus being single target, I would assume, but tuning is tuning. A lot of Nightfall synergy here. Nightfall procs, Haunt gives Nightfall, increased damage to Drain Soul or Shadow Bolt, all that. A lot of just synergies with Soul Harvester. Consuming Nightfall procs your big demon. He comes out and does his damage. Very cool. Casting Soul Rot gives you 3 shards, and they're all succulent shards. Succulent shards give you a 20% increase for your next Rapture cast, right? So also pretty cool, very synergistic, right? Points to hit on the tree here. Playing Drain Soul over Shadow Bolt. I have not simmed it. I'm sure they're out there somewhere, but I have not simmed Drain Soul versus Shadow Bolt, but Drain Soul has come out on top in the sims, which is interesting. Drain Soul is harder to dump Nightfall procs with comparatively to Shadow Bolt, so depending what happens and where that all goes, if it's very close, unless you want that Drain Soul Shard Sniping Claws or like some weird minor execute damage increase to Drain Soul, Shadow Bolt might be an option still, but I don't know the difference, haven't seen it yet. Besides that, yeah, playing Death's Embrace, playing Ravenous Afflictions here. I think the proc rate's still very low on this, but Nightfall is just really powerful for Affliction, or for Soul Harvester, right? I mean, a big buff to Drain Soul or Shadow Bolt whenever you cast this. Whenever you consume a Nightfall proc, you proc either Shared Fate guaranteed or a chance to proc Feast of Souls. Whenever consuming a Nightfall, you spawn your big demon. A lot of just general synergies here, right? So, I mean, it sort of makes sense. I didn't think it was good enough to even be played in the first place with Soul Harvester, but hey, there's that. No points in Virtuosity here either, which is interesting. But we mathed it out and things, and pound for pound, doesn't look like it's worthwhile playing Soul Harvester. But either way, like we talked about, both builds very, very close here. We can pull up Hellcaller stuff. Once again, with the actual Soul Harvester APL, might be a little different breakdown-wise with the right Hellcaller one. Actually, we can just do this here. Let's just do Hellcaller. Hellcaller looking like 15% Wither, 20% Rapture. Rapture buffed by, I think, 20% a few days ago. I believe 20. Agony 11.6. UA 9%. Could use a buff again, honestly. Probably should be higher than Agony based on what it does. But there's that. Blackened Soul, Soul Rot, so on and so forth. Malefic Touch being here. Comparatively to, we can just go here and look at Soul Harvester. Rapture being 22.6%. Getting us bigger Succulent Soul Raptures. 20% increase on that. Drain Soul 14.4. Agony 9%, Soul Anathema, the dot your demon spawns when he, or applies when he spawns, 8.6, UA 7.5, Corruption 4.6, 4.5, 4.3, so on and so forth. Demonic Soul being 4.1. And I don't know what, oh, this is also Shadow Bolt Volley, to clarify, from this. Probably too good, but hey, you know, not gonna say anything about that. So yeah, and Shared Fate being here at 2.3%. So I'd like to see what the difference is between Shared Fate and Feast of Souls, and to a similar extent, Shadow Bolt versus Drain Soul. But I mean, we'll see where things go when APLs get fleshed out. Maybe go from there and try and look at things a little more. But either way, difference here between Hellcaller. So we're not playing 2 points of Malediction, and we're pull the Hellcaller build here actually. The last build I looked at for Hellcaller was playing Malediction, was not playing Improved Haunt, so on and so forth. Let's see what we have here actually. This might have changed a bit, but I'm not really sure. Let's see. Yeah, so here's Soul Harvester. Makes it a little easier. Here's Soul Harvester. You're playing over here into Improved Haunt. You're playing in Death's Embrace and Ravenous Afflictions. Hellcaller, no Improved Haunt, no Death's Embrace, no Ravenous. You're playing Sacrilash and 2 points of Malediction because, hey, Wither, damage increase, crit strike chance increase, right? So 1, 2, 3 for Hellcaller. Go 1, 2, 3 for Soul Harvester. And there you go. Also, worth pointing out, Hate Fury's back ahead of Bleak Heart when it comes to Hellcaller stuff. But yeah, it's also playing Shadow Bolt for Hellcaller. So, but Oblivion, unfortunately out, not good enough. Xavius Gambit, would love to play it. I like UA damage, but they buffed UA by 50%, I think, a few days ago. Probably can buff that again by another 50. It's behind Agony for both Hellcaller. I don't want to spoil that. And for both Hellcaller and Soul Harvester. And well, that's okay, I guess. Don't nerf Agony, just buff UA. Like, UA is limited to 1. It's your, like, main, like, okay, this is my main target. Prio damage dot, and it's behind UA still. And we shouldn't need a talent like this to catapult it ahead of UA with it being, you know, the way it's structured. So if they're going to buff AF, UA is a decent target, but yeah, we'll see where that goes. Now, when it comes to destruction, so there's a handful of sims laying around. These were run a few days ago, I think, roughly yesterday, give or take. I don't have a whole lot of talent builds up here. Sorry, guys. Hold on. The highest build here was Hellcaller, Reign of Chaos, Chaos Bolt, Embers, Power Overwhelming. At 1, 2, 3, 8, the highest AOBall build here, Crashing Chaos, Chaos Bolt, Embers, Chaos Incarnate, all stuff here at 1, 2, 3, 5. So about a 30k, sorry, even less, I read that wrong, 3k disparity between the two. But if you note here, I will say Affliction, these sims here are indeed with tier set. This sim here for Demonology with tier set 1.394, Affliction 1.385. I don't believe there is a Destro tier set sim laying around, but from what I've seen, it might need a little more help in that regard. Because we're simming at 1.238 without tier sets. Demo, in contrast, is 1.330 without tier. This is Demo with tier. So Destro might need some help once again. Either way, highest build being Hellcaller, Reign of Chaos, Chaos Bolt, Death's Embrace, or Diabolic Embers, Power Overwhelming. Very close here. Reign of Chaos, Chaos Bolt, basically swapping PO for Chaos Incarnate. Right behind it here as well, Crashing Chaos, Chaos Bolt. So you have the option of basically playing Reign of Chaos or Crashing Chaos with about a, what was it, like a 4k disparity in damage roughly, I think. Which, I mean, depending on the fight, what kind of damage profile you want, if they're that close, if it's like 4k difference, I will likely lean towards playing Crashing Chaos if this loads over Reign of Chaos due to the consistency. Yeah, it's behind by less than that. It's behind by 1000 DPS. I will lean towards playing Crashing Chaos. I think most likely will, due to the consistency, right? Crashing Chaos, let me grab a build here. Crashing Chaos gives you, consistency, right? It is the next 8 Chaos Bolts are buff for damage. Reign of Chaos is like, hey, you might spawn Infernals off your first like shard summon when you're in that window. Might be off your fifth summon. Who knows? I don't know why it's not important, right? Maybe this is not. I don't know why it's not important, right? But either way, there you go. The talents are indeed in the sim. So yeah, if you have the option of Crashing Chaos, giving you 8 guaranteed buffs to your Chaos Bolts, or getting Reign of Chaos, I would like to lean towards Crashing Chaos, especially with this little disparity between the sims. But either way, looking at stuff going back a bit here, probably shouldn't have done that. We have to wait for it to load again. Both are very close. Diabolist also not incredibly far behind by 7k-ish, give or take. You can see Reign of Chaos here. I mean, the highest overall, you're looking at maximum 1.414. The highest crashing, you're looking at 1.408. Higher high end on Crashing or on Reign of Chaos, but also minimum 1,102 versus, what is this, 1,108. So higher high end, lower low end, but not by a crazy amount. This is not like, Demonology from BFA where it's a huge high end, but a huge low as well. All very close. There are sims that are updated more recently from these, and it's changed a little bit. So there are APL changes here. Destro was climbed from 238 to 252. Right here. Oh, they actually are Destro tier set sims. Sorry, we'll look at that in a minute. 1.238. This is the old one here. I don't know what no hero means, but maybe I'm not even sure. Either way, I don't know what no hero means. I'm actually not sure what no hero means. If I figure it out, I'll put a note in the screen. I don't think it's no hero talents. I don't think it's no heroism. I'm not sure what that is. Either way, here are the APL changes. One, I can pull up the extra talents for you. 1.252. So you're looking at basically this right here, and there are all hero talents, just to show and clarify. I'm not sure what that is exactly what that indicates, but either way, yeah, 1.252. So, and this is also without tier. I'll show you in a minute. I believe this is about tier. It is. Yeah, we'll look at it in a minute. So basic no tier destruction, looking at 1.252, comparatively to Demonology being 1.330. The build you're playing is this. It's like the Chaos Bolt build, basically. You have Cataclysm. There's no Reign of Fire casting here. We are playing Group Chaos Bolt. We're playing Power Overwhelming over Chaos Incarnate. This is the Reign of Chaos build as well. Once again, I probably shift something like this. Probably something like this, honestly, just to, more consistency. But either way, very close. Still playing Shadowburn in a single target. Honestly, a pretty good spell. If you look at the actual breakdown here for the damage, Shadowburn should be up there. It is 14.9%. Shadowburn hits really hard. In Execute, Shadowburn is way more valuable than Chaos Bolt. Like, way more valuable per shard than Chaos Bolt. You're churning out so many Shadowburns because of this talent right here. Target doesn't die. Cooldown reset. It hits really hard. Guaranteed crit strike chance. 50%. This thing's hitting like a truck in Execute, right? Bolt 17.6, Shadowburn 15, Black and Soul 12.3, Incinerate 10.4. Was nerfed, was buffed. Max Bolt 1.25, Max Shadowburn being 1.14. So honestly, pretty close to one another here. But yeah, so that's Hellcaller Destro for the most part. Let me see here. Where's Diabolist? I mean, there's no Diabolist sim here. It's basically the same thing we played before, but Chaos Bolt build, so there's that. The tier set stuff, though, this is where it gets a little interesting. So Destro's tier, this is what we just saw, 1.252. Sitting right here, essentially, 1.252. We are sitting at 1.27 with a 1.4 DPS gain for our 2 set and a 2.8% DPS gain for our 4 sets. With our 4 set, we are sitting at 1.287 million DPS. That is being compared to AF sitting at 1.385, over 100k higher, about the same, about 100k actually, give or take. And then Demonology sitting at 1.394. So basically 1.4 million for Demonology with tier, looking at 1.385 for AF with tier, Destruction sitting at 1.29. So behind by about 100k, give or take. I'm not saying buff Destro, but at the same time, if you want to buff Destro, probably wouldn't hurt. But, well, yeah, there's that. So we'll see where it goes. They've definitely found additional value in all these sims over the past 24 hours. I've been watching a little bit. I've had a lot going on IRL and stuff. But yeah, we'll see where it goes long term. That is, I guess, that is single target sims for Warlock. No AoE, unfortunately, here. I don't believe APLs are optimized. If they are, I haven't looked. I haven't seen any, but we'll get into that more later on this weekend and getting into this week and stuff. Yeah, that's basically that. Hey, yo, buff Warlock. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and hopefully gave you all a better idea where, I guess, lock things are sitting right, specs and sims and all that are sitting right now. There's no AoE sims here, like I talked about a bit, because I don't think they've been fully fleshed out and stuff. And, well, you know, there's that. Now, over the next 2 weeks, there's a lot happening before launch. We're going to have the guides coming out. I haven't determined if it's going to be before the raid opens or before the actual expansion launches. I might just do both. I don't know. We're going to have sim videos coming out on trinkets, embellishments, leveling videos, a lot of things along the way. So in general, if it was not covered here in Sims, it will be covered regardless. I've wanted to make a combat video for the past 2 days, but Diabolos is still broken on beta. Doesn't work at all, so we can't do that. But the sim video, you know, we'll sort of replace that. Week Auras add-ons or sim links, if you want them down below in the description. Twitch and Discord for Week Auras, and the sims are down there in general. And once again, a huge shout out to my patrons for all support on Patreon, like all the time, always, y'all. Thank you for all the support. It allows me to keep doing what I'm doing for you guys, making content, and yeah, I appreciate it. If you're looking at supporting on Patreon, should be linked up here as well as down below in the description. And the tier 3 Felguard rank or higher does get early access to the Within Warlock Spreadsheet. So I'm as surprised as maybe some of y'all are. The Soul Harvester is that high for Affliction. I will say that it's definitely a bit more complicated than Hellcaller is, with like shard management, so on and so forth. And sims are likely to be optimized for both. Even Demonology, the early sims today I saw had it, you know, for Soul Harvester Demo a bit behind Diabolos, but I felt that it was probably a little stronger. And over the course of the day, it gained more and more value. So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, all that being said, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all again. Why did the lights go off? I don't know. I'll catch y'all again soon on stream. Peace.